Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's lesson is on using the standard algorithm to multiply fractions. We don't have any new vocab, but we do have some notes. So our first note says turn a whole number into a fraction by adding a 1 under it. So for example, if I had a 5 and I wanted to turn it into a fraction, I would put a 1 under it. If I had a 12 and I wanted to make it a fraction, I would simply put a 1 under it. If I had a 1 and I wanted to make a fraction, I would put a 1 under it. Okay, my next note says turn an improper. It's actually supposed to say turn a proper. So I'm going to cross off that I am. So turn a proper number into a fraction by using the u. That's what your last homework assignment was on. So if you had something like 5.5, remember you do the u, you add your signs, you solve. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1 is 11 halves. Okay, our other note was, remember the word of tells us it's multiplication. So it doesn't mean if of is in the word, but if you can explain the story problem using of, it's probably a multiplication problem. Because most multiplication word problems are not very clear that they're multiplication. Okay, our steps tonight are, we're going to set up our problem horizontally. So we were setting it up vertically when we did adding and subtracting, but now we're going to set it up horizontally. No whole numbers or mixed numbers. Remember, a mixed number is a fraction and a whole number together. So no whole numbers or mixed numbers are allowed, so you need a fix. So if it's a whole number, you're going to fix it by adding a 1 under it. If it's a mixed number, you're going to do the u and turn it into a fraction. Okay, then you're going to multiply straight across. And then you're going to correct improper fractions using in and out. And then you're going to simplify. Okay, so let's see what this really looks like. All right, here is my first problem. Okay, my first problem says, Christina's lemon cookie calls for 1 1/4 cups of sugar. How much sugar would Christina use to make to make 5 batches of cookies? Okay, this one's clearly a multiplication problem because she's going to make 5 of this, so she needs 5 of those. So I'm going to set it up horizontally. Step 2 says no whole numbers or mixed numbers, so that one's an easy one to fix. I need to fix this, so I'm going to use my u. I'm going to come over here on the side and do some side work. And 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5/4. Okay, step 3 says I'm going to multiply straight across, so I get 20/4. Step 4 says I'm going to use in and out to fix it since it's an improper fraction. So 4 can go into 20. Oh, I made a mistake, ladies and gentlemen. That was supposed to be 25. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's try that again. 4 can go into 25 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24, and I get a 1. Okay, step 5 says to simplify, but I know I can't simplify it because of the 1. So my answer is 6 1/4. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, this one's going to be a little trickier. You'll see when I read it. John Carlos had 1/4 of an apple pie. He gave 3/5 of what he had to his friend Eddie. What fraction of the pie did Eddie get? So this one's not very clear. It's a multiplication problem. What they're saying is, this is what he had, and he gave 3/5 of this to his friend. So because I can use that of word, I know it's multiplication. So he gave 3/5 of the 1/4 pie to his friend. Okay, so step 1 is done. Step 2, there's no whole number, so I can skip it. Step 3 says multiply straight across. Step 4 says correct improper. There's nothing improper. Step 5 says simplify. So I'm going to ask myself, is 3 my GCF? No. Is 2? No. And then 1 doesn't help me. So the math on that one was easy once I realized it was multiplication. Okay. All right. Let's try some together. Ready? Harry is baking blueberry pies to sell at his bakery. He starts with 8 cartons of blueberries, of which he uses half for the first batch of pies. How many cartons of blueberry does he use for the first batch? So he had 8 and he used half of them. I bet you already know the answer. If he had 8 and he used half, what this is saying is he used half of 8. But the of is our multiplication. Now I bet you already know the answer. Let's see if it really works out that way. Okay, step 2 is I'm going to turn this into a fraction because no whole numbers allowed. Step 3, I'm going to multiply straight across. Step 4, I'm going to use in and out. And step 5 is I'm going to correct improper fractions, but I don't have anything improper. I have 0/2, which I don't really need. And I can't simplify that either. So my real answer is just 4. So does that make sense? If we had half of 8, shouldn't have been 4? Okay, let's try another one. All right, this one says, Diego operates a lemonade stand. On Monday, he uses 4/5 of a bag of lemons. On Tuesday, he used 1/4 as many lemons as on Monday. How many bags of lemons did Diego use on Tuesdays? So this one's not as clear that it's multiplication. What this is saying is he used 1/4 of the 4/5. So remember, when it's that of, I know it's going to be multiplication. Okay, step 2, there's no whole numbers, so I can skip. Step 3 is multiply straight across. Okay, step 4 is fix improper fractions using in and out. There's nothing to simplify here. Okay, and I'm sorry, there's nothing to fix for in and improper. Step 5, there is something to simplify. So I'm going to ask myself, is 4 my GCF? And 4 is my GCF because 4 can fit into 4 once and it can fit into 20. So my answer is 1/5. So he used 1/5. Okay. All right, let's try one more together. So this one is 2 times 1/2. Now if you think about the of, okay, maybe you could already figure out our answer. Okay, step 1 is get rid of our whole numbers. Step 2 is get rid of our whole numbers. Step 3 is multiply straight across. Okay, step 4 is improper fractions. This really isn't improper, and hopefully you remember that any numerator and denominator the same equal 1, which that really makes sense if this is half of 2, okay? So our answer is 1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have 3 problems to try on your own and then rate your understanding of this. Have a nice night. Bye.